Now, generally speaking, when you look up a video about a camera still being good in whatever year, like 2025, like it is right now, you do so because you're thinking about buying one and you could probably get it dirt cheap for maybe a third or a quarter or a fifth of what it was originally priced at. And so today I bring you a video review about a camera, kind of like a love letter to the Fujifilm X-Pro2. And I can't ask the question, is it still good in 2025? Because the answer is obviously yes. Does the battery still go in? Yes. Does the sensor still work? Yes. But it takes pictures, a 24 megapixel sensor. Yes, it's still good in 2025. I guess the better question for this camera is it still worth it in 2025? Because if you're here on this video, it's probably because you searched the X-Pro2. You're familiar with the fact that these cameras aren't worth much less than they were when I originally bought this thing, I think 10 years ago. When I pay $1,300 for it now, and I think when I offered this to MPB just to see what they'd get me for it, I think it was like $1,000 or maybe just a little bit more. And to try to buy them on eBay, good luck trying to get one for under $1,000, maybe $1,100. So, is this camera worth it in 2025 will be the bigger question of this video. Now, I'll talk about the points of this camera that I absolutely love, the things about it that make it so special, why it's still sought after all these years. I'm in an old train yard here in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. I'll walk around on this partly cloudy, partly foggy, partly shiny, shadowy day and see what we get just in September 2025. This camera still shoots amazing photographs. You can do all the sensor comparisons between all the different X-Trans sensors, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. I have them all. I'm not good enough to realize which sensor does what versus what other I'm not. I got on a sensor kick for a while and started collecting all the cameras because I needed all the sensors, but I have no idea why. Because when you start dialing in the film sims on these cameras, I mean, come on. What are you really seeing in terms of sensor difference? You know more about it than I do, probably why you're looking for an X-Pro2, because supposedly this was the best sensor that Fujifilm ever made. So the first and foremost thing that I can say about this is obviously people buy it because it's a rangefinder style camera. A rangefinder. I'm on Rangefinder. So yeah. OVF, EVF, the combination that a lot of cameras don't have anymore. And I've always been an electronic viewfinder kind of guy. I want to see, I want to adjust in the eye and I want to see what in fact I'm going to get in terms of exposure with the camera's EVF. The OVF, the optical, which you can switch right here with this little doodaddy, gives you as a street shooter something that I never really appreciated you needing until I started to use this camera, and that's the ability, you see the frame, but then you see outside the frame. And as a street shooter, you probably get people walking through your scene all the time with a good background. And I can't tell you how many times when I'm shooting like my Sony R8, and I got my eye all up to it right there, I'm doing a lot of this, like where are they? And then you have to shoot. You don't have to do that with the X-Pro2. The OVF, not the EVF, gives you the ability to see what's entering your scene. I always thought that was overrated until I really started shooting street on a weekly basis, and boy, I'll tell you what, it is a wonderful thing to have. You get to see exactly where the frame lines of the photograph are. A little parallax, not always the most perfect representation of that, but it's good enough for you to get a great shot. Let's talk about the magnesium alloy body. Gives this camera an incredible strength. I mean, this thing is sturdy. It's a tank. And I'm one that doesn't like to knock around my cameras. I will throw this one in a bag without protection more than I will other ones. And I have to say, it has survived. There's no dents or dings on this thing, so I probably babied the shit out of it. But magnesium alloy body, strong, firm, tactile in the hand, and you add the grip to it like I have, and this thing ain't going anywhere. And if it does, wear the wrist strap. Autofocus. I mean, it's not going to be 2025 standards, but it's good enough for street photography. You're not going to be shooting sports with this thing. I doubt that's why you're going to buy the X-Pro2. But as a street shooter, doing its street shooting thing, this is a wonderful camera for that. Getting back to sensors and not being great, knowing which sensor does what, I will say that I've shot Acros, the film simulation that's black and white, on all my Fujifilm cameras, from the XM1 to the XE2, to the X-Pro2, to the XT4, to the XH2, and the Acros, the black and white coming out of this camera. I have to say, The colors, the contrast is incredible. The images come out cleaner than any of the other sensors I've used in the Fujifilm line. So if you wanted to turn this into your monochrome camera, your Fuji monochrome, you could do that because of the Acros and the different dial-ins. I think there's the G, the Y, the R, the green filter, the yellow filter, and the red filter, and they pop your images out of the Acros on this X-Trans 3 sensor. I'll put a graphic here. If I'm right, I'll thumbs up. So yeah, this camera for black and white, oh, beats any camera I've ever shot with black and white. 10 years in, battery degradation. Yeah, I've got more batteries than I need. I've got 4 or 5 batteries for this. And people that complain about battery life need to watch another video I've done because, you know, shut up about battery life. If you're a photographer, you've got batteries. Just put a new one in and charge the other one. Or plug your camera into the battery pack that you got and it'll be fine. Shut up about battery life. Along with the Acros black and white that I talked about, it has all the other Fujifilm simulations, Classic Chrome, Provia, Velvia, Astia, all you need. I think Nostalgic Neg is in there too. I can't tell you the last time I did an upgrade in the firmware here, but I'm pretty sure anything and everything that you need, maybe not Eterna, maybe not Eterna Bleach Bypass, and probably not any of the like Reala Ace and stuff like that. I'm going off the top of my head here. It has all the different film sims that you need to get done those JPEGs the way you want them to look. And if we're talking about megapixels, I really believe at 24 megapixels, you're pretty much at the top end of what you will ever need for how you share your photos. If you share them online, nobody can tell the difference between 24 megapixels and 33 or even 40. I've got the 240 megapixel Fujifilms with the X106 and the XH2 versus these. I mean, truly, unless you're making big posters and putting up billboards of your photos that you get out of this camera, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. I think there's a bit of megapixel propaganda going on that maybe I should do a video about how more megapixels in the camera gets you buying bigger and better computers and makes you buy. A lot of things have to happen for you to fully enjoy those 60 megapixel cameras or the 100 megapixel medium format. Unless you're a professional shooter, what the fuck do you need a megapixel camera at 100 for? Oh, I just said a bad word. Build quality, optical versus EVF viewfinder, you got them both in here. You got just the classic look, you got the film simulations, you got the price, but it just means that it's worth it. And would I, if I did not have this camera in 2025, buy this camera for the amount of money that it costs right now? If I knew all that I know now about the camera, absolutely I would. But I'm here to convince you that, yeah, it's good money spent. If it's held its value this long, I can't see why the market would drop out of the bottom of this camera now. So my opinion, if you're looking for it at all, is yes, this camera is still good in 2025 and still worth it in 2025. And as always, as I like to say at the end of these videos where I talk about my camera, you can have this very camera right here for $1 million. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the photos that popped up throughout this thing, and I will see you next time.